Hey everyone, welcome back to the One and a Half Men podcast. We're currently starting this episode with two and a half men, apparently.
Well,
So
add us all together, and yeah, that's what you
yeah,
get.
yeah. So
We got we got my uncle all the way from Low, Montana. My uncle
yeah,
Chad. I don't
Yes.
even know if he knows he's on with us yet.
AKA Uncle Bucksnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his new name, apparently. So
Buck's
But
not.
anyway,
yeah,
I've been talking with Chad for we started talking about this buck last year. You trying to get on it all the time, and you got on it what 3 times last year? You said with the bow, and just could
Yep.
never get a
Three times
shot.
last
3 times last year and 4 times this year.
year. No, 3 times this year.
3 times
So
this year.
yeah. Or wait, it was 3 times this year.
3 times
So
this year. Well,
well,
why don't you
their
why
Uncle
don't you start?
Bucksnot take us through it.
Yeah,
all
start
right.
start us off.
Well, it started last year. Uh there's property right across from my house here, and of course this new guy from where the hell did he come from? He bought the property, and the property is just laid out just perfect. There's a great big meadow out front, and it's all willows, and then it goes up and into mountains. And for years, well, when he moved in, I spotted the buck, and he spotted the buck, and since he owned the property, I gave him the chance and said, "Hey, man, it's your property." You know, he goes, "Yep, yep. I want to take it, and I want to try getting him." So throughout the whole season, I was just having encounters and encounters over and over again, sitting in tree stands, blinds, But you got to respect the landowner. And finally, towards the end of the season, he said, "Well, he couldn't get him," so I started trying, and just I had encounters after encounters, and one time I was getting into my blind and I was setting up a decoy, going to set it out. I heard something. I peeked over top of the blind. I'm 6'6", and there he stood, you know, and I just, it just wouldn't come together for nothing. So I was feeling pretty crappy about that through the whole season, trying, just I just focused on that buck. And granted, it's all private property. So throughout the years, his genes have passed on. And there's some humongous bucks in there, huge bucks.
How
And
old do you think he is, Chad?
he has to be at least 5 or 6 years old.
Okay,
And
yeah,
I have summer pictures of him, and he's in between 6 and 8 inches outside of his ears. He's a super duper wide, and the base of his horns are, God, they look like elk horns, just humongous. Even though
sure.
he's super wide, he's super duper heavy. And then,
Well, Luke, that picture you sent me of that guy that shot that buck not too far from your house, that
Yeah,
real wide, heavy bastard. I
yeah,
sent
yep.
it to Chad, and Chad goes, that's he almost said that somebody shot his deer because he said that's identical. Spitting
he's
image of that buck.
fit an image, but he's super duper wide. It's
Yeah,
wide.
I'm not great with measurements, but that's got to be a 200-inch deer.
Yeah, I know he gets me excited every time I see him.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
obviously this year he got me excited because
yep.
I had 3 encounters with him again this year. Well, I called nephew, just sick to my stomach. The first encounter, hell, where was he? He was right across the road, and I shot, and I was shooting a 243 within 75 to 100 yards, And I drew blood on him, I, and I tracked him a mile and a half across the swamps, up up into the mountains, and he went all the way to the top of the mountains over here. And I tracked him all the way up till then. And
Wow.
obviously, I was getting close because when he'd stop, and this is hands and knees for a mile and a half, and he would leave a blood spot. Well, the really good blood spot was approximately a paper plate size.
Sure.
And then after that, it was just droplets and just sick to my stomach. I was gagging, almost puking. Just what a beautiful animal. And then I end up screwing it up. And then the following weekend, well, I tracked him. Well, I went back up there and I did grid search for 3 or 4 days, and I couldn't turn anything up. No birds, no nothing. Just sick to my stomach.
That explains all the Yeti sightings up in that area.
Yes, yes, yes. But anyways, and then a week later, the following weekend, I went back and I come around. Well, I get on top of the mountain. I shut off my four-wheeler and I go down into this ravine. I coast. I shut it off. I come around the corner and I started coasting, and there he stood. He was within 50 yards of me. I stop, get off the four-wheeler, go over to the side of the road, get in prone position, fire, and I missed him cleanest. I mean, this is how bad this buck's got to me. I mean, just I don't know how to describe it. I've never had that before. And
Yeah.
then the following weekend, I caught him over here again, right off the swamp over here, and he was 75 yards away. I pulled up, shot again. He
Whoa,
buckled
whoa,
up.
whoa! You
What?
missed one little quick encounter. The beaver dam.
Oh yeah! Oh shit!
I figured you were going to
Yeah,
leave that out just because you didn't want to tell the story, but I'm going to call you out and make
yeah.
you tell the story on this one
Or that was
because
four times.
because your
Or
water wings are on their way, or that little ducky waste water.
yeah. Well, in this swamp, well, the landowner he wants me to get the beavers out, so I've been trapping beavers. And rode my four wheeler over. I had my German Shepherd with me all the time, and I started going across the swamps over to my uh, traps and check my traps. I turn around, I come back. My four wheeler's only 50, 60 yards away from me. And here come that buck. And I had my gun on the four wheeler, and the buck runs in between me and the four wheeler, about 30 yards.
Oh my God.
And I'm just going, God, this buck has got, he's just, I don't know. Or no, he just, like I said, after trying to get him for 4 years, he's got under my skin, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't explain it. And then the last encounter, well, like I was saying before, nephew rudely interrupted me.
Well, you forgot to
Oh,
tell you
well, I
forgot to
was
tell
on the beaver pond.
you forgot to
Uh,
tell the whole story about that, about the funniest part of that whole story.
well,
You can't get
yeah,
away from that.
I need floaties because I was walking across the beaver dam, and the beaver dam let go, and the water's so damn cold that I landed in the water, but I ended up only getting one of my cheeks and my ass wet because I bounced out of it so fast. Plus, I thought I was going to drown, So, uh, yeah. So that's that story. And then nephew was going to send me little floaties so I could put it on my arms. So when I go check my traps, but
So
I
if it
haven't
was
seen.
up to your ass, it would have been up to my eyeballs then.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh
Abs-
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
you don't have no idea how hard I laughed when he called and told me that story. And then he had his trap spreader in his hand and he wanted to fling that trap spreader at that buck, but then he figured get wrapped around his antlers and the damn deer
oh
would
yeah,
take
that
his
part too. Yeah,
take his trap spreader away from him too as he ran off. But
yeah, my conibear trap setters. And that's all what I had in my hand. And I thought about just slinging it, and my luck, it would get stuck in its horns, and he'd be running around with that trap setter in his horns. But and then after that, that the following weekend, I had another shot at him with 75 yards, and I know I hit him because he buckled up. I know I got a really good hit on him. And when I got over there, it was snow, and it was just like he's a ghost. I couldn't find no tracks, no blood, no nothing. And I spent another 3 days looking for him, and a buddy of mine just saw him again. So
oh,
and he's still here.
your buddy did see him again, huh?
Yeah, he just saw him again. Just uh
Maybe it's time to buy a Knot 6.
yeah, yeah. Well, I got a 7 mag, but I don't want to use that on him, but
Right,
that's what I
right.
used
Well,
my elk on
that
him.
243, you've killed elk with that. So I mean,
I've killed elk. Yes. Yeah.
it's
Oh,
not the
no doubt. I'm
weapon.
I'm just being a smart ass, obviously, but
Uh, but but no, that's my. And then during, and I got to say that, I kill an elk almost every year, and hell, I can't even kill an elk. I don't know. It's just a really shitty year for me. So,
yeah.
Well,
but
and mind you, he's got, this buck has got him wound up so tight, and he has shot one with his bow that, well, I know it made a magazine, but
yeah,
I forget what it scored and if it was one of the biggest in North Dakota or Montana, I mean, or how all that went. But
yeah, it's actually Rack Magazine. It was in
Okay.
Rack Magazine, and I'll show you uh, right there. That's what they scored it at. I don't know if you guys can see that.
174 and an eighth or 194.
191 and 2/8.
Okay.
Oh, I'm
191
looking
and
at the
two
wrong
eighths.
one.
Sure.
191 and two
Sure.
eighths.
And of course, that's him there. He's a really funky looking buck.
Yeah,
But
I have a picture of that mount you sent of that
yeah,
deer. We should send it to Zane so we can get a
Yep.
picture of it
Yep.
pasted on here.
I'll put it up on the screen while we're talking here. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, he's a really nice buck. And that one there, that buck there was 80 degrees outside, and I was sweating sitting in my tree stand, and
Right.
bow hunting. And I thought, what a stupid ass. You're sitting here bow hunting when it's 80 degrees out. You're going to have to work really quick. And I was actually crawling down out of the tree, and he was standing right down below me. And Christ almighty.
That thing's
Yeah.
like a double main beam, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and once I harvested him, got him home. And like I said, it was 80 degrees. So I hurry up and ported him all up and everything. I took all the meat in, and for out here, it's a huge deer. It was 108 pounds of meat off that
Yep.
buck. And there was nothing abnormal about him at all, but one of the hooves, it was it was long, and that was it.
Yeah.
He had all his nuts and everything. So, but
Wow.
yeah, he was
Wow.
a pretty cool buck.
And that
Hell yeah.
wasn't too far from your house either, was it?
Nah, that was only, I'd say, within 250 yards of my house.
Wow.
It's crazy.
And that was when I was living down below. Now I'm living on top of a mountain, so
Sure.
uh,
Well, don't feel bad with this guy that you just got. I mean, I just shot the first buck in 8 years, man. I mean, shit. Er- Everybody goes through spells.
Yeah, yeah, but this buck here, what the hell? It's been 4 years now. I've been trying to get him,
Sure,
and
sure.
I do have. I don't know if I got that on. No, I don't have him on. And the weird thing about it is I've never ever got him on camera. I've set out game cameras all over the place. I've got
Yep.
his siblings. His where the heck? I don't know if I got that picture or not.
We actually kind of covered this on the previous episode too. I mean, some of the bigger deer I've seen, even in my place, were never on camera. You'd see like a ghost shot of them, like you'd
Yeah,
see just their hind end or just a flip or something of them.
right.
But
Well, and I
that was
can't.
that was something I went into. Just because you don't see them on camera doesn't mean they're not there.
Right.
So
Hey, thank you. Thanks. Okay. Well, and I don't know how to do this, nephew, but I do want to send you this picture of his offspring. But he's really, he's narrow, but he's really high. But I don't know how to do it, so I'll send it to you.
we'll figure it out. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but
Yeah, I can. Yeah, just send me what pictures you have, and I'll put them up on the screen here and edit them up on the screen.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Let's
So
see.
so for everybody watching us or listening or whatever, I just recently kind of met Chad over phone calls and text messages, and kind of learned. I kind of heard some stories about him over the years from Zane and whatnot, and I said, well, shit, give me his number. so so I texted Chad and I said, hey, I heard you're a big fella. You want to be my friend?
Well, I tell
So
you
he
what,
texted back and said, well, maybe I'll be your friend. How tall are you? And I said I'm a strapping 5'6" on a good day, and I tend to
Yeah,
get along with big fellows like you because I'm not going to steal your women or your boots.
yeah. That was very funny.
I'm telling you what, if you want to have a good, interesting conversation, I should put Chad's number up because
Oh no.
your guts will hurt by the time you get done laughing. We talk what damn near almost daily most times, don't we, Chad?
Yeah, yeah, yep.
And it could be just we could call each other for one question, and before we can even answer it, the conversation just takes a hard right turn, and we are
Yep.
completely off topic, and we end up making fun of somebody or something, or say something inappropriate, or
And that fits right in because that's no different than the way me and you are. So
Yeah.
what are you saying? I'm the problem?
no, no, no. I'm just saying we all have a similar sense of humor, right?
Yeah.
I tell
Yeah.
you what, I've been on two elk hunts with him, and I give him shit about it all the time because this one this year um was one of the typical hunts where you should have been here last weekend type deal, or
Yep.
wait for this weekend, whatever. But been an absolute riot. I mean, I've never had so much fun before. And it like this year we never even got on an elk. So or even came close to one that was on public.
Right.
And it was just an absolute riot.
Well, there was
Yep.
what 400 head on the private property there, really nice bulls, but
Yeah, there was well, we've seen over God 3,000 elk the whole week, but they're all on private.
yeah,
You
those
know,
don't
that
count.
herd of
Yep.
400 here, 200 there, and then you got the guides that got them all leased out, and drive by at 10 o'clock in the morning. Here's a guy that weighs 600 pounds out there gutting an elk out in the middle of a hay meadow. It's like, how the hell did you get him? But
Yeah,
um,
I
not
did
not that I'm
email
making
you.
fun of somebody 500 pounds, because Lord knows I'm not the skinniest lad on the block either, but still.
The comment was on my mind. I didn't say it.
It's all right. Your mom's got I want a fat man looking her eye all the time. So
Yeah.
Sure does. Sure does.
I did send you those pictures email.
by
So,
email.
yeah. Um,
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
his.
we'll get them posted up in the editing process, and
Yeah, those are the baby. That there's just a baby. But
Oh yeah, that's
you
still a
know,
cool looking. Anyway, I'll have to post these up, but that's a cool looking deer.
yeah.
hell
That's a
yeah.
real cool looking deer. But
But I did have
anyway,
pictures of Big Louie when during the summer, and he's about 200 yards or 100 200 yards across that field, and the phone that I took it on, it scrambled or went tits up on me. I lost all my photos of him, but I
Sure.
only have just a few photos of him, and just and I really wish I could get some pictures because a lot of people don't believe how big this deer is, and it's
Yeah.
you know
well, you sent me pictures of him in the summertime before your phone went to hell, so I
yeah,
can vouch for it. I have seen pictures of him, but it was from a distance and it was pixelated.
yeah,
But
Some of these 200-inch deer that get shot around here, like if you were telling me about it, I'd be like, yeah. But then,
yeah,
you see guys that are dragging them out of the sloughs and taking pictures of them. It's like, oh my God, I'd
yeah.
have a stroke.
Well, this
So
deer definitely he's you know he's got my he's got my number, let's just say, because I can
yeah,
sneak down. I have quite a few stands over here, and I walk in the creek to get rid of my scent and all the way to my tree stand, and I do everything that I could possibly do, and he's just got my number. I think he knows where when I walk out the door. you know, he's that
sure,
damn smart. You know,
sure,
uh, but it's what it is. It's always next
yeah,
year, as long as the damn wolves don't get them. And that's
right.
that's next on my list is wolves. Uh, got bait sites out now, and just ready to rock and roll on that. That's a lot of
when
fun.
does that open again? Did you say
The first
January
of the month,
1st?
yes, yeah.
Wow, yeah,
It's only a month and a half, so you can pre-bait and you can get your snares out or your traps out and lay them all out, get them out in the woods, a month early, and it's a lot of work, but when it pays off good. And the
Do you have to be a
foundation,
state resident for that?
no, no, you can
Okay.
get a non-res, but I would I would hunt Idaho. If I didn't have wolves here, I'd hunt Idaho because Idaho is very lenient, and of course, where I live, I'm right on the border. I'm only 9 miles from Idaho, and but another foundation that I'm with is the Foundation for Wildlife, and their last year or the year before they were only giving me $750 per wolf. You can keep your wolf, keep everything. All you have to do is get it certified by the game wardens. But last year they upped it to 1,000, and this year they're talking about giving out $2,000 per wolf,
Wow.
and you can keep
Wow.
everything. You know, but the wolves here
So
just annihilated everything.
they're flourishing that well out there, huh?
Yeah, yep,
Wow.
yes, yep.
Well,
But
what did you say that there used to be what about 150 to 200 elk right across the road?
yep,
And
from me,
since
yeah,
since that one pack of wolves moved in or got planted there, whatever the hell happened, there's what, seven left?
yep, 7 left.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's just within a few years.
Right. And I got deer, elk, moose. Well, there's a cow calf moose pair, and the cow is left, and there's no calf left. You know, the wolves
Yep.
just they come in, and I mean they're pretty cool to listen to, but
Yep.
they devastate a lot of things. But I
Right.
just don't understand it. But
I've been kind of concerned about that topic as well. Near my place here in Minnesota, I've been around that place off and on my entire life and never heard or seen a wolf. When I was a kid, we didn't even have coyotes, and now coyotes are
Yeah.
god dang everywhere. But within the last year or so, there's been you can hear the wolves, and it's like, man, that's new,
Yeah.
So
Well, it's actually, I watched a lot of videos and, trying to learn everything about them. The best video that I've seen was a guy was talking. He goes, well, if you're going to hunt them, trap them, or do whatever, stop hating them, you know?
yep,
And I thought, you know what? You're full of shit. You know, you're just full of. And I went up to the mountains and I sat for a couple hours, just, okay, I'm going to get this hate out of my mind and out of my, just out, you know?
yep,
And I tell you what, it worked. I started figuring them out. Just get rid of the hate because your hate
yep,
fills up with your mind and then it clogs it or whatever you want to call it. But I started hammering the hell out of the wolves. So,
yep.
and yeah, that was a funny story too. I went to check snares, or the wife woke me up in the middle of the night. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. She goes, "There's something wrong with these wolves, you know." And of course, keep in mind that's right across the road from me.
Sure.
And they were howling to beat hell. So I went over the next morning and I checked all my snares, and I couldn't figure it out. And I had one more spot to check. And keep in mind, this is really, really thick buck brush. I mean, thicker, and the thicker, the better.
Yeah.
And I came walking up and I looked and I seen my snare was down and I saw a wolf laying there. And all what I carry is a 22 pistol. So I took a stick and I'm standing there and I went to poke that wolf in the ass end, and that wolf evidently didn't hear me, and he was still alive. And I shit my chaps. I was just holy shit. I shit my chaps getting the hell away from him. But yeah, that was fun. But I got him.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's always fun, almost getting your ass kicked by a wolf. It's,
Right, right.
Yeah.
I had a coyote come through my backyard, and I took a shot at it with a 20 gauge, and saw a fur fly, so I went to follow it in the woods, and it was dark, and so I took off into the woods straight ahead with a flashlight, and I got 30 yards straight into the woods, and all of a sudden I started hearing all kinds of yipping and all kinds of shit on both sides of me and all around me, and I'm like, I got 3 shells in this thing. I think I'm out of here. I
Yeah.
mean, coyotes don't scare me like that bad, but it was just enough to weird me out. I backed out of there and like, nope, nope, no thanks.
Yeah.
you scare the shit out of my wife, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It is freaking hilarious.
I mean, I've had coyote pups in the backyard get tangled up in the fence in the back, and little puppies, and hearing back there shrieking and going crazy. And I've helped one of them out of the fence, and even as puppies, there's some wiry little bastards, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Well, I
But
did catch the alpha male wolf, and you know, I'm 6'6". I couldn't lift him all the way off the ground. But when I went down to check my snares, the other wolves were only 30 yards in the trees. And I didn't I was so focused on him, I looked over real quick and there they were. And they were gone just like
mm,
that. And I went, God, I could have bagged
right,
out, but no, that big, it was a great big male, and I couldn't lift him. He's huge, you know.
wow,
But yeah, this is him.
okay,
That's him.
That's a big old head.
Yeah.
That's what your mom said.
Yeah. Oh, baby. Does he mumble all the time when he talks?
Yeah,
Like he's shit in his mouth?
yeah.
Oh, it's a Minnesota thing. Get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That or it could be my headset. I mean, is it coming through wrong?
No,
No, you
no.
just talk funny.
You
Okay.
just talk funny.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.